Welcome to episode 5 of the Free to Listen podcast, a podcast dedicated to gaming and nerd culture. My name is Dan. I'm joined with Wilson
What's up?
and the ever lovable John Boy.
Hello.
And this week will be the first week that a few of us are actually streaming the podcast live. So if you're watching in our channels, send us some comments, questions, whatever you guys have. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. So first order of business, like always, what have we been doing this week? Well, listen, you want to start things off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we all really started streaming on Twitch, gameplay footage and everything, and I picked up a shit ton of games over the past week. I picked up Deus Ex, FTL, The Walking Dead, which I've been streaming every night this past week at one episode a night, which I'm just blown away by that game. Really blown away.
Thank you for doing that, by
It's
the way.
phenomenal.
Because that game was. Ended up watching the stream of the last episode, man. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, I'm not a big fan of those type of games, but it was amazing. And then I've also been playing a little bit of, like I said, Deus Ex, and the Showdown Effect actually launched instead of the beta. I'm playing that again. If you're really into any kind of like brawl type games, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth trying. I think it's $15 on Steam. And then they had like the bonus edition, which was $20, where you got like extra in-game items that are pretty much just aesthetic. But I got the bonus on. I paid for that a while ago. But the game's definitely worth checking out. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I was looking at it a little bit. It seemed like it was a really cool concept.
It really is. I mean, it is like I said, almost like a brawl clone with a little bit different mechanics, but it's definitely worth trying out. And that's really about it. And like I said, we've been streaming this week, so I've been really enjoying that a lot, to be honest. I know, John, you said you were enjoying it, and Dan, you just really started today, but I'm definitely going to continue myself.
Yeah, see, the problem I have with it is that my upload speed is pretty much dookie, so up until I'm going to be talking to my ISP provider on Monday morning, and they didn't upgrade our package when they changed their package deals, and the package that we should be paying for should be offering up to 1 megabyte upload speed, which would be fine for me, but we're getting half a meg, so I have to convince them to give us another half a meg so I'm able to actually stream decent games, because right now I'm basically confined to single player.
Oh, Dan. The P in ISP is provider, so you don't have to say it afterwards.
Whatever.
Zing.
Just like people
Of
that
course
say
he has to
ATM
zing me.
machine.
So how about you, John? What have you been playing this week?
Like Wilson said, I started streaming as well on Twitch. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. I actually, oddly enough, have been getting into Mass Effect 3 multiplayer again. I played Mass Effect 3 multiplayer when the game launched, just enough to get enough points for the single player campaign to get in the ending. And then they launched their last multiplayer DLC this week. All the multiplayer DLCs were free, so I decided to check it out and mess around with it on my stream, and it's been awesome. Like I've been having so much fun with it. I'm just kind of blown away for all the crap that EA gets. You know, like all the free content they've added to multiplayer in that game is pretty impressive.
No,
You know, Kareem was talking to me earlier today about that, and he was talking about how awesome the multiplayer was for Mass Effect 3. I haven't even tried it yet, so I really can't comment on how good or not good it is, but you know, I take your word for it.
Yep.
It sounds like a good experience. I'll have to actually look into it.
You know, man, it's exactly like I don't know if you probably played Gears of War, the Horde mode in Gears of War 2, where it's just like co-op and you just fight waves of enemies.
Yeah, we were really big into that when Gears of War 3 first came out with Horde mode.
Yeah, I played a lot of it in Gears of War 2, and it's the same concept. It's like the same exact concept, except it's with Mass Effect characters and enemies, and there's like a ton of different classes. It's a lot of fun, and for the amount of free stuff they've added, like it's definitely worth checking out. And the way you unlock stuff is it just makes it pretty addictive. Like you really just want to. It just makes you want to keep putting more and more time into it.
Now, with the whole free DLC and everything that you were talking about, do you honestly think it would have all been free if they didn't get the flack they did for the ending on Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, it would. I mean, the multiplayer DLC. I mean, they have single player DLC that they're charging $15+ for.
Well,
It
yeah, I
has
know
nothing
that.
to do with the single player though. Like the ending had nothing to do with the multiplayer.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
charged for the multiplayer.
They're
They
kinda,
offered the DLC for to change the single player ending free, didn't they?
Yeah, that was free. But I mean, the multiplayer. I mean, I feel like it would have went this way no matter what. I mean, the rest of their single player DLC was priced pretty normally in terms of DLC anyway. So I
Oh,
mean,
that's
I
good.
feel like I don't know. It's great, man. I mean, if you own the game and you haven't put time into multiplayer, at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. And
Maybe
the
maybe
community
one of
is
these days I will
awesome.
actually play a Mass Effect game.
Yeah, we definitely have to get together and do that one of these times.
Yeah.
But
That-
speaking of
That's all
EA,
you've been doing, John Boy?
Well, yeah, Mass Effect. I'm slowly starting to get kind of into Dota 2. So, I mean, I probably will never stream that ever just because I'm horrific at it. But
oh,
I'm
you saw my
slowly.
stream of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the horrific playstyle get your viewers though, man. People like to see people muddle through that.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I'll start doing it. But so, yeah, that, and then I've been plugging through Mass Effect 2 again, and I started Brutal Legend,
Oh,
which is
Brutal Legend.
I put about 2 or 3 hours into it. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's such a good game. But speaking of EA, if you guys didn't hear, from this moment on, every EA game that comes out is going to have microtransactions.
Yeah, I heard that.
We could talk about that.
Now,
Silly EA.
it all depends because like what they did with the microtransactions in Dead Space 3 isn't really a big deal because you don't have to buy the microtransactions to get the items.
The same microtransaction system exists in Mass Effect 3 for the multiplayer. To unlock classes and weapons and items and stuff, you have to buy packs that contain like a random assortment of items. So you could buy them using credits you earn in-game at a pretty rapid pace, or for the more expensive packs, you could use BioWare points, which is you buy with real. They're like it's the same conversion rate as Microsoft points, whatever that weird
Oh.
conversion rate is.
See, I'll be okay with the fact that they're doing this as long as they handle it like Dead Space.
Yeah,
was.
I
Because,
agree
you know,
completely.
we did complain about that, but it actually turned out quite good for Dead Space 3.
Yeah. Really, next on the agenda is
Wait, what? Dan, do we talk about what you've been up to?
Yeah, geez, Wilson just curses over me like I don't even matter, apparently.
you don't matter.
New mod came out for Arma this week, and we've been having some good times in it. Invasion 1944, it's a total conversion mod, and they released it for DayZ and Wasteland as well. It rips out all of the guns, all of the vehicles, and all of the character skins, and replaces it with everything from World War II. So I finally got to live my dream of being on top of a high building with a scoped Lee Enfield rifle, and boy did I rain death. I just took poops on everybody that came across me.
By
It was
poops, you mean
phenomenal.
self-gratification.
Yeah, well, you know, not all of us can go AFK in the middle of a giant firefight and then complain that there's no action going on.
I had to poop.
Sure you did. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that one, John. We were playing Wasteland last night, and this one here decides that he was going to go AFK after complaining for about 20 minutes that we weren't getting any action. He goes AFK, and we get buzzed by 2 helicopters and a jet fighter. Comes back, he's like, "What just happened?" We're all yelling at him.
I'm pretty
Dude,
sure.
you just missed it.
I'm pretty sure if I was there, I would have screwed something up and we would have all died. To be
How
honest.
could you have screwed something up? You would have just stood there watching everything blowing up.
You don't know how well I am at screwing shit up for people.
Apparently so. You were like really afraid you were gonna screw something up for us.
Like when I
But,
I
yeah.
launched the AA gun at Greenlight.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He launched an anti-air missile right at Sean or Greenlight. It was hilarious. But yeah, I've been playing that. Playing some regular Wasteland. I streamed some Minecraft tonight. I'm going to be doing a streaming series of Minecraft where the only time I play that map is while I'm streaming, so that way it stays constant. so I'm not doing anything while I'm offline of it.
No, that like I said, I can run my
And
server.
yeah, we were talking about earlier doing a stream of multiplayer Minecraft. I was trying to stream some wizardry today, but apparently the servers decided to take a dump on themselves again. I
What else
don't
is new?
even know when they're. Yeah, literally, I don't know when they're going to get their act together with that game. It's starting to get ridiculous, in of the fact that they can't get those servers stable at all. And this were the EU servers. Like, I thought the EU servers were fine, and all of a sudden it just doesn't want to work. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I've already uninstalled the game. I'm not even gonna bother.
I thought you might. I did play a little bit of Terra again this week, but not much. I think I'm like level 14 or 15. I'm in like a third zone.
Eh.
But that's pretty much all I've been doing this week. It was another work week for me, so, I get off of work and the only thing I can really play is Wasteland or DayZ with the crew, because those are the only ones that are on at the time I play. So, up to the first item on the agenda.
Yeah, before I was
on the
rudely
table, Wilson?
interrupted.
Oh, rudely interrupt. Sorry for trying to stake my presence.
Nobody cares about your presence, Dan. But first on the agenda is PlayStation Plus is going to have a prominent role in the PlayStation 4 with multiple subscription levels, which is kind of interesting to see. Which I know me and you, John, we were discussing how all the items that they were talking, like this game streaming and the drop in and drop out gameplay where you can actually come in and just start playing my game, where we were discussing if it's possible that is that going to be part of the free service or part of a subscription based service. This kind of
Right.
goes with that idea that it might be for a subscription based service, because you might get the regular $60 a month or $50 a month and get a regular service. But if, say, you only want certain things out of the service, like the game streaming, that you can pay a prorated price, which could be an interesting thing.
It's a bold
Yeah.
move by Sony.
It's bold, but if they offered like tiered subscription plans, like that's definitely a good thing. I mean, you can never have too many options when it comes
Yeah,
to something like that.
You're just customizing it so that everybody gets the option that they want, which is customer service. Again, this is another plus to Sony for actually wanting to do things the right way.
Not only that, I mean, they already came out and said that, playing multiplayer will always be free. You're never going to have to pay a subscription fee like Xbox does to play your games online, which is one of the reasons I like Sony over Microsoft. The only reason Microsoft, in my opinion, has the bigger base is really because it was more affordable from the get-go.
Oh yeah, they definitely priced it perfectly right at the beginning of the start of Xbox Live.
And I do think Sony's going to take that into consideration this time and really, price the PS3 at a better price point than the PS3 was.
I mean, you can't do much worse.
Not only that, but I'm actually thinking that the PS4 is going to be cheaper than the PS3 was at launch.
Well, they have to do that. There's no way they could price point it at $599.
I'm saying 300 and 400.
I would picture like a $350 and a $400 package.
And then also with that same tidbit of news, the big rumor for Microsoft is in April they're supposed to have their own event to announce the next Xbox console, which is rumored to be Xbox Infinity, which they really have to have a strong showing at this if they're gonna really
they
compete
can't
with
show
Sony.
the same third-party games. They can't do it. They have to bring in their own different publishers that they've got deals with. If they show off more from Capcom and more from Square, they're not going to do it. And they've already lost, in my opinion, Bungie.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
It seems like Bungie is more in Sony's pocket now than ever.
In my opinion, what's going to save Microsoft at this point, because Sony had such a strong viewing and strong support at this point with the PlayStation 4 from other developers, is they need to come out and show first-party titles that you're only going to get on Microsoft system, like another Halo, another Gears, if they're going to do more Gears, Alan Wake. They have to come out and have that strong showing of first-party titles that you're only going to see on Xbox, and what would actually help them in the long run. Xbox Live is not a pay-for service anymore, where you can play online free, but you can still pay for a subscription-based program where you're gonna get your benefits, but online multiplayer has to be free for them, or they're gonna lose the next console race.
They're totally gonna copy PlayStation Plus with that. I mean, they have to. Like, PlayStation Plus is set up perfectly.
I don't know if they really have to.
Would you? I mean,
If they
Would
want to
you
be
pay-
profitable, they have to.
would you pay to play on Xbox? Like, would
But-
you keep doing that?
But here's the thinking though. Remember, Microsoft as a whole company is still profitable. They don't need to follow suit in what Sony's doing to remain profitable. If the gaming division takes a plunge, they're still going to exist as a company just fine. Whereas Sony doesn't have that anymore because their other divisions are not turning a profit, and they are being held afloat right now by the gaming division.
But I mean, I don't think they're just willing to just. I don't know. I still think they're gonna try their damnedest to do a good job in terms
I
of.
think they will too, but I'm just saying that, Microsoft can afford to throw money at whatever project they want to, and it doesn't matter if it's profitable or not for them. They've got the money to do it.
At the same point, they are gonna want to be profitable. I mean, yeah, the Xbox isn't their sole provider, but it is one of their larger providers of income.
Oh, they'll try. They'll try to become profitable, but they may take a different approach than what we're all thinking.
Well, most likely they usually have. And one of the things that really got me out of one of the rumors from the next Xbox, it is mandatory to have a Kinect sensor on it. Mandatory. I think that's a horrible move,
That's
especially
so stupid.
especially
That's so stupid.
after all those videos showed up where the Kinect sensor was actually operating while the console was off. Like it was almost looked like it was panning your room and snapping pictures. And granted, what was showed and what actually may have happened, it could be two different things. But if that's the case, where it is, actually operating while your console's off, that's a huge no-no in my opinion.
I mean,
That's
that's-
horrible.
I don't know. I can't get worked up about that because that's totally based on conjecture.
Based on a rumor right now. I can't see. Maybe that was what they were planning, but now that they've seen the outcry of it, they won't do it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the used game lockout thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Sony was planning that, but then with the big outcry, they went, "Oh yeah, you can play used games. Like we would ever do that."
Or it could have been
You gotta
like-
be kidding.
I mean, it could have just been something that was being like an idea that was tossed around and got leaked, and like it just never made it past a certain point.
Well, no.
You know,
This was a video from a person. Where
with an Xbox Infinity that
No,
requires
with
a Kinect sensor to be connected.
No, I'm talking about with the Kinect sensor actually operating while the console was off.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Xbox requiring a Kinect sensor to play. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
we're
no-
actually talking about the next Xbox rumor, not the fact that the Kinect sensor is always on. Now
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I mean, I don't know, saying that. I mean, that would suck if it's true, but I mean, I can't see Microsoft saying like, oh, like here's this console, like you have to buy this other peripheral to play it. That's not going to come with the system.
If they did that, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't include the Kinect with the console though. To be
Yeah.
But
honest.
that's gonna jack up the price.
Not
It
necessarily.
won't launch for. Nah, it won't launch for $300. Then it'll be $4 and $5 for the bundle probably.
If it does, that's the case.
I mean-
but they're going to offer that bundle.
If there's a Kinect, if it requires a Kinect to operate, why wouldn't they just build it into the system, build it into the console?
Well, that's essentially what Sony's doing with the Move controller inside of the PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, phrasing it that way, then saying like, oh, it requires a Kinect to be connected to work like this. I mean, the Kinect's always going to be connected no matter what. It's just part of the console.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, let's continue off that because everything is just really rumors.
Yeah, a rumor. Yeah.
Another
Yep,
big thing.
move on to the next.
Another big thing this week is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag trailer, which I was kind of iffy when I heard that it was leaked, but after actually watching the trailer, it looks pretty good.
It's confirmed for
Yeah.
release this year.
Yeah, of course, and it's actually, even in the trailer, it says, coming out for next-gen consoles, which kind of makes me think, is the Xbox in that grouping
Yeah.
of next-gen consoles?
They'll both come out this year.
You think?
Oh yeah.
But I thought they were taking a break with Assassin's Creed for a year. I thought they were taking the year off.
Apparently not. Has a holiday 2013 release.
When
But
did
didn't-
3 launch exactly? What was its
Last
launch
year.
date?
Holiday last year.
Yes, so then Yeah, so then it could launch at holiday this year. It's a year space in between them.
It's coming
That's
out
what they
October
planned
this
on
year.
doing.
Most likely. Graphically, it looks really well.
It did look really neat, and pirates and assassins. It's Yar.
Yeah, but it might be good. It might be the same rehashed bullshit of the past couple Assassin's Creeds. Because let's be honest here, it's getting stale. The only time they really did a huge upgrade mechanically of the game is from 1 to 2, and the rest has been slight upgrades. But
That's
with,
true. But what formula doesn't get stale by the time you hit the fifth game?
Yeah, and coming out year after year.
yeah,
Pretty much.
such as Call of Duty.
That's why I'm surprised they're doing another one coming out at the end of this year. I thought they weren't releasing anything in 2013 because they were gonna like really kind of bust their ass.
Except for Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs is coming out this year too.
Can't wait.
This is weird.
Yeah,
The hype you have for that game, man. I just hope you're not burned.
I will
I'm
not be
prepared
burned.
to be burned. I'm 100% ready to just.
I shall
not
not
be
be
impressed.
burned. Let's see, what else is newsworthy the last couple of days since our last podcast is Beyond Two Souls, which is essentially the Ellen Page movie game. It has a launch date of October 8th, and it's also going to have a character voiced and lookalike of Willem Dafoe, which he's a pretty good actor in my opinion, so looks like they're putting a lot of money into this game, but let's hope it's not going to be a waste of time.
Heavy Rain was cool.
Yeah. Well, those games are always really cool, but this one's for that specific company seems to have more of a action in it than their last couple games. Because it's all based around Ellen Page's character and this ghost that she sees and helps her, and it seems there's actually going to be some actual action in the game other than a story.
I wouldn't mind that.
Now, graphically it looks awesome, and nobody really knows what system it's going to be on at this point, if it's going to be just solely on current gen or next gen. I would assume next gen as well, because they were at the PS4 launch.
Are they still a Sony exclusive?
Yeah.
Heavy Rain was only on PS3, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every one of their games has really essentially been a Sony only game, I believe.
I liked
Indigo
Heavy
Prophecy
Rain. I thought it was good.
Indigo Prophecy you can get on PC.
Oh
I
yeah.
think on Xbox you can get it too.
You don't really count PC when you count exclusive titles.
You can get it on Xbox too.
Yeah, I think you can now. They were all fantastic games. But
So, did anybody bother picking up Tomb Raider since it came out?
No.
I think it comes out Tuesday.
I thought it came out already.
It came out for consoles. It's not out for PC yet.
Oh,
Ah.
that's why I think it comes out on Tuesday, because all I really go by is console or PC anymore.
Yeah.
Did you?
From
play
what I
it?
heard, it was good. I watched a multitude of different reviews and watched gameplay footage for myself to get my own opinion on the matter. And if when it comes out for the PC, I may get it. It actually looks really neat. It's not stellar, and it looks like it does have some problems. But I think, Wilson, me and you were talking about this the other night, that it's pretty much like the people that are comparing the new Tomb Raider to Uncharted just aren't getting the picture with what a reboot does to a series.
Yeah.
It's the same case where people bashed on Lords of Shadow for looking a lot like God of War. When God of War took its inspiration from the original Castlevania games. Just like how Uncharted took its inspiration from the original Tomb Raider games.
It's just a
So
cycle.
it's just a cycle, and it goes full circle. Now, it does have some gameplay elements of it that could be refined and fixed, but to me, it looked like a fun game. It actually looked like I would want to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested
I can't
in it.
say
I'm
that
thinking about picking
for
it up
many-
for the PC.
I can't say that for many, of these big AAA titles that come out lately. I haven't really been impressed by many of them. But Tomb Raider impressed me. I may actually pick that up. And what they did with Lara Croft's character actually looks really cool.
Were they
I
humanized her?
like the redesign. Yeah, I like the redesign. I like the humanization of the character.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and in something like that where it's a plausible thing, like Uncharted, that's a plausible thing. It can really happen compared to like your other games like this and AAA titles like God of War, where it fits the lore. Previous Tomb Raider, she didn't really fit a plausible
No,
thing.
she was a John Woo ninja in an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah,
I
with a
was
huge
pretty
rack.
much sums up the earlier, yeah, with huge tits. It pretty much literally sums up the entire beginning part of the Tomb Raider franchise.
No, but
But
I
this one looks
really
a
do
lot
like
better.
and I like that it's adding backstory, which the other ones had a backstory, but it was only tidbits you'd pick up within the game. You never really got a decent backstory on her. All you knew she was a treasure hunter, and her parents were dead. That's all you really knew. You never really got any kind of backstory from her. This is just the first game's her backstory, so it could be an awesome thing.
I'd like to see if they're gonna pump a new one out every year.
I hope not.
I don't know if they're at that point. I think maybe one every 2 years.
It all
I
depends
mean,
on sales.
we thought Lords of Shadow would be within 2 years, Wilson, and it's going on 3 years now. So these things take time if you don't want to muck it up.
Yeah, that's true. Which actually, Lords of Shadow, there was actually a petition online for a Wii U version of the game for the sequel to come out, and they just friggin' shot that in the ass and killed it.
I'm
It's
not
not happening.
surprised. I'm not surprised that they won't make a Wii U version
Me
for it.
either. To be honest, I mean, the Wii U it's a promising console. It's just it doesn't have the game support right now.
I think it's unfortunately the more and more it goes on with its lifespan, it's looking like it's going to fall into the Dreamcast category.
It might not. We don't know.
And I
Actually,
really hate to see that.
one of our
We'll
viewers
see
on
what
my stream,
happens.
one of our viewers on my stream here, he actually thinks Nintendo is going to drop out of the console race eventually, which I don't see that ever happening.
I think it could happen if they don't get great sales with their first party titles. That's always what saves their consoles is their first party titles.
Yeah.
So if we get the new Mario for the Wii U and the new Zelda for the Wii U, if they do not sell well and move more console sales, then yeah, Nintendo can't afford to not turn a profit. So if they muck it up,
I
they've
think
got one shot.
after E3 and the other shows over the summer and the rest of the year, you'll be able to make a better, clearer call on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still too early to see if Nintendo's going to sink or swim yet. Like I said, we gotta wait for the first party titles. We'll see probably the footage from the new Zelda at E3. Even if it's just the trailer or a piece of concept art or something, we will see some kind of announcement of Zelda at E3.
Yeah,
They
if there's not a showing of one of their bigger first party titles, like it's just like Sony and Microsoft are just gonna like trounce Nintendo. Nintendo's not gonna have anything. I would love to see a new Star Fox
Yeah,
more so than a Zelda. I love
Yeah.
Zelda, but a new Star Fox like
Star
the
Fox
original
64?
or Star Fox 64. Yeah, that's what I would really like to see.
let's be
It could be
honest
cool with
here
that
though.
fucking gamepad. That could be really cool, man.
Let's really be honest here. We all know if anything happens where Nintendo is having trouble in the console race, they're going to pull out one of those cards that they have sitting in their back pocket, such as a 3D RPG version of Pokemon for a console. They're going to pull something out big that's going to save their ass.
They've got a ton of wild cards that they could play. They really
Tons.
do.
But I mean, they never show any sort of like initiative to even coming close.
They don't have to though, because they have the money and they have the power. So
I mean,
if they get into that problem, they could.
They could.
One of the big things for the Wii U, though, is it doesn't have a lot of titles, not just first-party titles, but a lot of titles in general that it launched with. I mean, there's only like 25, 30 games out for it right now, including Nintendo market games such as like your indie titles, and that has a scarce amount. I think there's like 5 or 6 games on there that you can't get in retail stores, and none of them are really good except for maybe Trine 2 Director's Cut. But that's priced at $20 when I can get it on Steam for what, 15, 10?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, let's be honest. It's a poor showing title-wise. The console's a really good console now. That same viewer in my stream, Tank Attack, he says it's not really next gen, and he wasn't here from our previous one, but I'm gonna explain it because he's listening right now. It's more of like a Gen 2 or 0.5, where I think this is the seventh console the seventh generation. This is like 7.5, just like the Wii was 6.5. They're in that middle ground between console generations, which with the Wii it worked, but not with the Wii U, especially with Sony having such a strong coming with their new console coming out in wait to see what Xbox comes because they have to come out of the gate sprinting.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt them, but they have all those magic tricks in their bag that they can just pull out.
Not to
And
mention that, but look, they've also got the 3DS. Everybody always underestimates the money that Nintendo gets from their handheld division, and they get a ton of money from their handheld division.
Pokemon.
Exactly.
I'm going to be buying a 3DS just when Pokemon comes out. Hands down.
X and Y look actually really good.
Yeah.
Like, changing the isometric view like that, that's a big step up for Pokemon. That's huge.
Yeah. And like I said, if it ever comes down to them dropping out of the console race, they're going to pull out a Pokemon game for the console. They're going to pull out something that's going to save their ass.
Yep.
And you can't tell me if this Zelda that's going to come out that they're supposedly going to show at E3, not including Wind Waker HD, that's going to sell consoles. It is. Zelda has always sold consoles. So.
You know, speaking of Pokemon, I have just an interesting note to point out. Do you guys ever go back and actually watch the show anymore? Like, have you seen anything about the show since it changed? I mean, we all admit it. We all watched it when we were kids.
I watched it up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but it's actually kind of funny. My one friend who watches pretty much, he only watches it in the sub version. He won't watch the American version at all. But he made a point to tell me that in the show they're bringing back Charizard. I guess it's another one of those ploys to the viewer count must have been down, so let's bring back a fan favorite. It correlates with what, Nintendo would probably do. It's pretty much the same basic concept. Your viewer count, your subscriber count goes down, so hey, let's bring back an old fan favorite and watch the rating skyrocket again.
Oh, of course. And to be honest, I really wish they would have went with Red as the main person in the Pokemon series, in the cartoon.
I feel bad for that poor kid in that series. It's been what, like almost 15 years now? He hasn't won a single damn thing.
No, and he's just a whiny bitch.
15 years.
But let's continue on. Let's not go into a Pokemon rant here.
I like hearing your Pokemon rants. They're hilarious.
Yeah, my Pokemon cards bring all the boys to the yard. But
next topic.
Another big thing, the Ouya console gets shipped to the backers that backed it on Kickstart, starting on March 28th. I don't know if you guys know anything about the Ouya console.
I followed it briefly.
It's essentially Android market console, which it might be cool. I mean, it's going to be HD gaming for what it is on your TV, but it's all going to be run off of the Android market. Which there's some quality titles on the Android market.
Isn't the whole concept basically just the OnLive console with added on the Android market?
Not really.
It's pretty much the same basic thing, isn't it?
No, it's essentially iOS or Android phone gaming on your TV at this point. Where you can play games like Angry Birds or Ruzzle on your TV instead of playing them on your phone. It comes with
who would want to do that?
It got a huge supporting. It got a huge supporting on Kickstarter. I mean, it's good for the casual gamer, which let's face it, that there's a huge market for casual gaming.
See, if Nintendo wanted to do good, that's what they should have got into with, the touchpad on the Wii U. They should have opened up a deal with Android or Mac to put the store on, and then you could play Angry Birds or whatever the hell you wanted to on your TV and gamepad.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been a good decision for Nintendo to do, and they would have made assloads of money.
Yeah, but at the same point, the Ouya console it's like $99.99, and it can be affordable for everybody. And like I said,
that's really cheap.
Well, yeah, it's not much. It's essentially the same as you can get on a $50 smartphone that you would get from any service provider, or even one of the prepaid service providers. And like I said, it's strictly Android based, where you can get some good games off on your phone. Like you can get Final Fantasy 3 on your phone.
Yeah, but the whole reason that's cool is because it's on your phone.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying people are going to go out there and buy your Final Fantasy 3 and your AAA phone titles to play on your TV, because anybody who's not an idiot can just download an emulator or a ROM. But to actually be based on an Android strictly market.
The key word there is anybody who's not an idiot.
That's true. But for it to be solely based on the Android market, I don't think it's going to pan out that well. They might do well in sales for the people that are addicted to like Angry Birds or Candy Crush Saga or whatever the fucking game is they're playing now.
Are they going to plan to have any kind of interconnectivity? Like if you have an Android phone, you load your profile up
Oh yeah.
and have all those games that you've already purchased?
Well, yeah. Now it's the Google Play Store because Android's owned by Google, of course. So it's not even the Android market anymore. It's Google Play.
Friggin' Google.
Which I have an Android phone and I can link my Google Play account from my phone right onto my browser and play the games in my browser too. Google's all about connectivity, but at the same point, I don't think there's a large enough market at all for this console to actually succeed like they think that it might. They got a huge following on Kickstarter. They got a lot of supporters, but at the same time, why would I go out and spend that $100 for a console that's going to play my Android games when I can play them either on my phone or in my browser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Or for that matter, most of them are connected with Facebook now too.
They're not even
And
for a
if-
fraction of that price. Like most computers now have HDMI outs,
Yeah, you
So
can
you
just
could just
plug your
get-
TV into your tower and
Yeah.
run the browser.
and
Yeah.
you have that box right there. Like it's already done.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a concept that is all that hard. They're basically just making a modular computer to just play Android market games.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
not very innovative.
Or
At
it's not-
least
yeah.
Steam and Piston is trying to do something slightly different where they're making a full gaming rig in
Yeah.
the small size of a cube.
yeah.
I don't think UI is gonna do very well at all either. I'm in your camp on that one, Wilson. I agree with you.
I agree completely. I don't understand. I remember hearing about it and then like looking into it. It's like that's it. Like really? Like what the hell's the fuss?
Yeah, exactly. Now, another Kickstarter that I followed a lot was the Oculus Rift. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Yes,
That's the 3D goggles. That looks fantastic.
Valve's been fucking around with
Everybody's
that a lot.
backing them.
Valve tried to do. They talked about trying to adapt Team Fortress 2 to like a headset like that.
Yeah, and
So-
from everything I've saw, when the Rift comes out, it's actually going to be pretty affordable.
Have they talked about prices?
They talked briefly in one of the update videos on Kickstarter where it was going to be like $250, $300, which for what it is, that's affordable. I mean, it's the next. It's like essentially a step down from virtual reality at this
To be
point.
completely honest, I would drop $300 on that over a next gen console.
In a heartbeat. I agree with you 100%. You can me to play my PC games and on that instead of the two monitors I'm sitting in front of right now.
Yeah, that would be totally awesome.
I just put in my second monitor today. I don't even know how I ever existed without one.
See, at work I use two monitors all day at work, so I'm used to it. But I just hooked mine up a couple days ago, and I'm loving it now. Especially now when I'm streaming, I can actually see the chat.
Yeah, it's a nice feature, especially when you're streaming, to be able to see that chat.
Yeah, and not have to have my game windowed. So next on the agenda is there's been a couple, two other games that actually were kind of teased or announced this week, and one of them is Gran Turismo 6.
Whoop-dee-dee-doo.
No, my big issue with this though is it was sort of announced for the PS3 in 2013. At this point, why wouldn't they just push it back and make it a PS4 title?
They probably spent so much
They have to
fucking
redo the
time
engine?
getting it optimized for the PS3, like getting every fucking scrap of performance they can off of the PS3's hardware.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
don't
been
forget,
what?
if you push it back like that, you're gonna fall into the same kind of development hell that Duke Nukem Forever and Too Human went through.
And the
You're
last
changing engines, you're changing specs, you're changing everything about the game to make it run on the next generation of consoles, and then you push back the date again.
I remember the last game in the series kept getting pushed back and took forever to
Yeah,
finally
and it was
come out.
poop. I didn't even
I don't-
like Gran Turismo games, and that game was horrible.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I,
even with Kevin Butler promoting it, it's still
Hey, you
sucked.
leave KB out of this. I love KB.
Did that game
Yeah,
get
where
bad
is he
reviews?
now?
I didn't even look.
He got sued by Sony because he did
Dude,
a.
he was on a Nintendo commercial.
That's why he got sued. And then the other game sort of teased was Just Cause 3. got teased with the developer posting some images, and it looks like it's going to be next gen. And I played Just Cause 2 a lot, and Just Cause 1 was okay, but when 2 came out and they turned it into that really gritty sandbox style game compared to the first one, Just Cause 2 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, 2 was a ridiculous game.
And actually,
that game was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was, and they actually, in the beta of Just Cause 2, they actually had a multiplayer version of the game where a couple people hacked it, and you can actually download the beta information and play on servers with other people.
They're still working on that.
And
Like you could play that. They open the beta up like every couple of weeks or
Yeah.
so. You can get in on it.
I played one of the beta weekends. It's hilarious. Like, you can do the little grappling hook up onto a plane that's flying over your head and just rip the other player right out of the plane and start flying away. So it's really interesting to see what they're going to do with that. It looks like it's still the same protagonist, but we'll see. And like I said, Just Cause 2 was a blast.
I mean, I didn't play that game for the story. Like, you just play that game to grapple onto an airplane and then surf on it.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Same thing with Grand Theft Autos and Saints Row games. I don't play them for the story. I play them to do the most ridiculous stuff I can possibly do.
I still think Skyrim's better for that. Cheese wheels down a mountain. Epic.
Not as epic as fucking grappling a tank to an airplane and then flying the tank around and shooting people.
I can do that in Wasteland. Whoop-de-dee-doo.
It's so much better on Just Cause 2. Trust me.
Yeah, well, I guess you can't make a comment about that because, you went AFK during that whole spiel.
I had to poop.
You can keep denying it all you want.
I had the whims.
You had the whims.
Yeah. And then, really the last tidbit of information I have for this week, it's been kind of a slow week in the gaming world just because, really, everything's still being overshadowed by the PlayStation 4 announcement, is Respawn Entertainment, which is the ex-head of Infinity Ward, well, both of them, they opened Respawn Entertainment once they got the axe from Infinity Ward from Activision. They're supposed to debut something at E3 this year, which is 99.9% sure it's going to be a first-person shooter. It's going to be essentially Call of Duty 4 all over again, in my opinion.
Why wouldn't it be a shooter? Of course it's going to be a shooter. They don't know how to make anything else.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they have the quality shooters, in my opinion, but I'm not into shooters that much except for TF2.
They had quality shooters when Modern Warfare 1 was new. Then it became a rehashed formula, and there was no innovation to be had.
No,
or they could trigger the next wave of first-person shooter craze. And
it's a possibility because
we're due for a shift.
No, it is a possibility because they were the first one. They were essentially the people that made the shift last time for the new
Modern
craze.
Warfare.
Yeah. So it is a possibility. We all know it's going to be a shooter. It's just what kind of shooter is it going to be? I mean, let's be honest here. There isn't too much that they can do to blow me out of the water right now. But
Bring back World War II.
Let's
go back.
Dude, it may be time. We haven't had a mainstream World War II shooter in a while.
World at War, I think, was the last one.
That was the last one.
Besides, your crappy titles that are
I wouldn't call Sniper Elite crappy.
No, and I actually just picked up Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army.
Now I'd call that crappy.
I haven't played it yet.
See, here's my beef with that game, and I've watched different gameplay video footage of this as well, and it seems to me like that if you're gonna make a mode like that and justify it as a standalone purchase for $15. You better put something in there that emphasizes the co-op. There is absolutely no emphasis on co-op. You could do it single player if you want, and there's no challenge to it. I mean, how hard is it to hit shambling zombies that are moving at you at slower than snail speeds? Not to mention you get that ridiculous kill cam over and over and over again every time you headshot something.
Coming from the guy that has a man boner for the DayZ.
But that's different. It's actually doing something different.
No, I know. I'm just busting on you.
Like a horde mode incorporating zombies to where you're not getting any other kind of innovation. Like, I hate to give Call of Duty props, but their zombie mode actually innovated. It put in different things, the pack-a-punch machine, the monkey bombs, the secrets that are hidden in each one of those maps. It's actually something else to do and forces you to work together in co-op. Sniper Elite Zombies does not. It does nothing to make you want to play co-op. You could do it single player.
Yeah,
There's no hidden Easter eggs. There's no nothing.
I didn't pay anything for it, so I'm not complaining.
Oh, you friggin' mooch.
I'm not a mooch. Somebody offered to give it to me, so I said yes, because he wants me to play co-op with him. So.
John Boy, that better not have been you.
No. It's another mutual friend, Dan.
God damn it, I need to kick Kareem.
No, it's not Kareem either. He's still in our area.
I'm not entirely sure then.
It's Parach.
Oh.
But anyway, the only other tidbit of news, and I actually didn't know this until a little prior to the podcast, which John informed me, is there's a 12-issue Mass Effect book coming out.
Comic.
Comic?
Yeah, from Dark Horse again.
Ooh, Dark Horse. I like Dark Horse.
If it's Dark Horse, it'll be good. Did you guys check out Hyrule Historian, how good they did a job with that?
I did not.
Dark Horse did a phenomenal job with it. Anything they touch turns to gold.
Isn't it
They're
still
a
like
good
40
company.
bucks?
I thought it was like 25.
I got mine for $20. I don't know what the hell your people problem is. Go to Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I'll have to pick it up, I guess. I need some good pooping material to read.
Are there lots of cool
Oh,
pictures?
God. Yeah, there's a lot of cool, neat
And that
things in a different...
god-awful, convoluted timeline.
I think we need to do a podcast just on the Zelda timeline.
Yeah,
I
we need
really
like 15
feel like we need
minutes
to.
just like screaming at how fucking stupid the one they actually published is. I could get a full
Well,
15-minute scream
The
off.
branches of the timeline aren't stupid. It's just, hey, let's create a timeline for if Link failed and died.
That makes sense,
That's
though.
the one that
Timeline.
everybody has the problem with.
Let's create a timeline if Link drank Lon milk.
Yeah, but the timeline where Link died makes sense, though. If you look in the beginning of A Link to the Past, it says the hero of time has fallen. So it has to be there.
No, it didn't say that in the original one. It said the Knights of Hyrule failed, and then the Seven Sages imprisoned Ganondorf, King of Thieves, in the Sacred Realm.
That's essentially what happens in the Ocarina of Time in the 7 years, though.
Yeah, we totally need to do a full...
Oh, we are.
Zelda
Just
Timeline
on it.
podcast.
Yeah, we should do it.
Oh, we are. You know what? We're gonna do that sometime this week. We will hash out the details later, but that's about it for everything I have. Do you guys have anything else to discuss?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm just sick of PlayStation 4. I mean, it's exciting, but
Yeah.
I just don't.
But we get this every time that there's a new big announcement of a new console generation. You guys know this.
Yeah.
News goes into a rut. Even if there's not a new console generation, these March to the end of April is always slow for news in video games because it's building up to E3 and all the surprises. You get towards the end of April and then the beginning of June, we're going to hit a huge amount of news, stuff to talk about. I mean, we're going to have to do an E3. Yeah, we're going to have to do a podcast just for E3.
Well, yeah, we did one just for fucking, PlayStation 4, essentially.
Pretty much.
We might have to do several podcasts just for E3.
You will have to do like a Nintendo edition, a Sony edition, and a Microsoft edition, and
Pretty
then
much.
maybe an indie edition.
I love indie games, but that's it for us this week. It's a shorter week. Like I said, there's not too much going on, so you wanna give us the outro there, Daniel-san?
Alright guys, as always, if you liked what you heard, shoot us a comment. This podcast will be uploaded to YouTube soon. Good old Wilson takes care of that, so within a day it'll be up. Shoot us some comments, some likes, some dislikes. Tell us what you enjoyed. As always, we will be back next week with another episode of Free to Listen Podcast. I'm Dan, signing off. Wilson, John, say goodbye to the viewers.
Goodbye, viewers.
Goodbye, viewers. And subscribe, motherfuckers.
Yes, subscribe and follow us on Twitch. Both will Wilson and I have streamed tonight, so if you want to keep seeing us on Twitch and streaming the podcast, give us a follow. Good night, everyone.